Hey everyone, welcome to your first tutorial in the grade 12 accounting course. I'm going to build a financial statement today and I'm going to do it on the fly. The purpose of this tutorial is not to talk about financial statements, but more to talk about how to use a spreadsheet. In this course, we'll be using Google Sheets. If you're a student in the Hastings board, you obviously use the Google platform. If you are out of board, you have access to the Google platform via your e-learning course. Please make sure you're making access of that. If you use Microsoft Excel or another program, a lot of the same stuff will apply as what I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you some basic functions today. I'm going to show you how to input stuff. I'm going to show you some formatting, dollar signs, underlines, as can be expected in the course. And to do this, I'm going to build a really basic income statement. Again, the purpose of this tutorial is not to go through accounting concepts, so I won't be stopping and teaching you about the individual concepts. What I want to do is I want you to get familiar with some of the functions we're going to use in Google Sheets that are extendable as we use whatever financial statement or work that we're doing throughout the course that requires a spreadsheet. So here we go. So I'm just going to start with I'll just make up the company. All right, so ABC Co. You'll see I'm going to make spelling mistakes and stuff and correct them. We're all human, so it's okay. Okay, so I'm going to do an ABC Co. income statement, and then I'm going to do it for the month ended January 31st, 20. The first thing you'll notice is typically when I do the years, I'll do 20 dash dash. That's kind of a throwback from textbooks. If you took the grade 11 course, it likely did a 20 dash dash. The reason they did that is they didn't want to date the textbook, so they don't say 2022 or 2012 or whatever it was. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to merge some cells soon, but I don't really care about that right now. So when I'm doing an income statement, I'm going to list my revenues first. So let's say I got some sales and I got some fees earned. So we'll just do a couple of them, and then we'll do expenses. We're not going to do any merchandise stuff, so there's no cost of goods sold or any of that stuff. Okay, advertising expense. Just add a few more here, just so that we can see. All right, so the first thing I'm going to show you is you can see some of my accounts are spilling over from column A to column B. I'm not going to hit tab or enter to put in the rest of the letters of the words. All you need to do is if you go between, in this case I'm in column A, so I go between column A and B, my cursor is going to turn into a cross, and you're going to see left and right arrows. So once I do that, there's one or two things I can do. I can double click and it's going to automatically make the cells large enough, or I can click and drag it larger. In this case, I'm just going to click and drag it larger so that these fit in. So the first little bit of formatting is you can actually drag your cells to the required size you want. So that's that. Okay, I'm going to throw in some numbers here, and I'm just going to randomly do this. Say we did 120 grand and another 25 grand. All right, we'll do some expenses here. Not $10, that's not good. All right, 10 grand. Paid a lot of salaries, so we're generous people here. Our rent is 4 grand. We have to pay utilities at 2,500. Our insurance 1,200 for the month, and we had depreciation 3,400. Okay, beautiful. And then we've got total expense. Okay, so I've got the kind of structure of my spreadsheet in place here. And let's go through some of the formatting that I want to do. First thing I'm going to show you is how to merge cells. So I want to center my information at the top, which is the company name, the type of financial statement, and the date that it's for. And I'm going to end up having some numbers in column C as well. So I am going to do this. So if I click on my cell, I'm going to see a red box around it. If I hold kind of in the middle of that cell and I hold my mouse down or my mouse pad down and I drag it over to column C, I've now highlighted A1 to C1. and then I go up to my function bar here. There's this one here. It's a box with two arrows pointing in that says merge cells. And once I click that, you'll see I now have one large cell. So B1 and C1 no longer exist. It's one large cell. And then I want to center that, so I'm just going to, you've done this your entire life, so you should know how to center. If you don't know how to center, go see a computer teacher at your school. All right, so I'm going to merge this cell, center it, merge this cell, and we'll center that as well. So there's merging and centering. Great. Okay, second thing I'm going to show you is how to do some sum functions, so how to do some addition and other things that you might do. So, excuse me, the easiest way to do it, or the most basic way to do it, so if we go up here, there's this little sideways m, that's a sum function. If you click on that, I'm going to just drag my face away from here. So you'll see the first option is sum, which means to add. You should know that. So if I do that, it's going to do this weird little formula here. And all I have to do is highlight the cells that I want. So in this case here, I want to highlight these two cells. So I'm going to click in the middle of this one and drag down to the one below. And I'm going to hit enter. And it's added it up for me. And the really nice thing is if I change my number, it's going to automatically update this number here as well. So you always want to do that. Another way you can do it, if you are a little more tech savvy, or it's just a really quick way, is if we look up here, it says equals sum bracket, and then it shows the cells we use. That's what, so we can just actually type that out. So I can just click on this and go equals sum, and then I use a bracket, and then I highlight my cells, and then I close my bracket, and it will add those up automatically for me. So either or, I really don't care. What I don't want to see is this. When I check your work, I don't want to see that you've used the calculator on your phone to do it. All right, so make sure that you are doing that. And I will always check up here. I will know if you did it because I can just do a quick check right here. Super important. So I'm going to do the same thing here as well. And because I know how to do this, I'll close that, and I've added that up as well. All right, so you may, there are a couple of formats on an income statement. Again, this is not about income statements, this is about doing formulas, but some of you may have had your teacher just have you put the total beside the last revenue account and then the total beside the last expense account. I don't care, either or, you're doing the right thing for me when it comes to that. All right, so the last thing I want to do is I've got 175 in revenue and 46 and change in expenses. So I know I'm going to have a net income. So I'm going to type in net income. And then when I'm doing a manual formula, which means I'm not using that sum function. So in this case, I want to subtract 175 minus 46.1. What I do on the spreadsheet to tell it I'm doing a formula is I do the equal sign. So when I do an equal sign, the spreadsheet knows, okay, you're about to tell me to do something. So in this case here, I'm going to click once on my 175, and I'm going to do the minus on my keyboard, and I'm going to click on the 46.1, and then I'm going to hit enter, and it will have done the formula for me. Now, super important again, I don't want you to say equals 175 minus 46.1. I want you to click on the actual cells, and I'll show you that once again in case you don't know. So you click equals. When I do equal sign, the spreadsheet saying, okay, you're going to do some sort of math, and I'm cool with that. I want to click on the 175. I don't want to write 175 because I may have made a mistake, and I want to change the number and have that number change applied to everything in my spreadsheet. I'm going to go minus, click that, hit enter. And so the company had a net income of $128,900 for the month. All right, we're almost done. Last thing I want to do is some formatting of numbers. So in this case here, I want to highlight the cells where my numbers are. I want to go up here to the number 1, 2, 3. I'm going to drop that down, and I'm going to choose the numbers option. But I don't want the decimals. So to get rid of the decimals, I just go up to my decimals decrease, and I click that twice. And I've got the commas in my numbers now. It's looking a lot cleaner. As we get into the course, we're also going to be doing some dollar signs and underlines. So I'm going to show you some simple dollar sign things you can do. In this case here on an income statement, we would put a dollar sign on that first number in each column, and then on our net income. So I'm just going to highlight, I'm going to hold my Control, or if you have a MacBook, Command key down, and I'm going to click on those 3 cells, and I'm going to just choose the dollar sign, and I want to get rid of my 2 decimals. So now I've got the dollar signs where I want them to be. If you want, you can also do it individually. It's going to take a little longer, so you put a dollar sign, get rid of your decimals, dollar sign, and I don't care what you do, because ultimately you'll get to the same place, but if you highlight them, it'll spare you that. Okay, so let's put in some underlines now for our income statement. So I want an underline on the very last number in each of the respective columns or sections. So because what an underline shows me, a single underline shows me, is there is some sort of calculation coming up, and it's usually a total of something. So in this case here, I want to put a single underline here. You'll notice, for some reason, we don't have a underline option here in Google Sheets. So there's a little workaround I'm going to show you that I use. If you go to this border option and you choose a bottom border, what you've done is you've essentially underlined it. So just go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to do it again here because I've got some math going on there. All right, so those are my single underlines. And then to show that my financial statement is finished, as you will have recalled from grade 11, is I want to put in a double underline. So to do that, I'm going to click on the net income of 128,900. I'm going to go to borders again, and I'm once again going to choose that bottom border, but this time I want to drop the border style down. Let me get rid of my face again. Excuse me there, okay. So it automatically puts in a single. I don't want that, I want a double, so I'm going to drop down the border style, and that very last option is a double underline. And there you go. We've got our income statement. We've merged the top. We added our numbers. We did some simple functions using the sum tab or a manual formula. We got rid of our decimal places, added some dollar signs and some single underlines. And then if you want, often you'll see I may put a single border. You can just highlight your spreadsheet and then put a single border around the whole thing. This will be double underline because that was my last, sorry. Nope, that's not what I want. I told you I'd make mistakes and we'd fix them. What I want is a border around the whole thing. You'll see it's a double underline, which I don't want, so I'll just go back to a single. And we are good to go. So that is some basic formatting. We're going to apply that to our balance sheets, our income statement, statement of owner's equity, as we go on throughout the course. And you can refer back to this tutorial. Even though this tutorial only refers to one type of financial statement, you'll be able to use some of that formatting going forward, and I believe you'll have an exercise shortly to work on that. All right, take care everyone, and we shall chat soon.